The air inside your home is between 2 and 5 times more polluted than the air outside. I'm not saying that. The United States Environmental Protection Agency, the EPA, says it in studies published over 2 decades ago that the air purifier industry has been leveraging to sell you machines costing $300, $500, and up to $1,000. What that same industry doesn't want you to know is that NASA published a study in 1989 identifying indoor plants capable of removing formaldehyde, benzene, trichloroethylene, and xylene from the air of enclosed spaces without electricity, without filters, without monthly maintenance, and at zero cost after purchase. Today, I'm showing you 15. Stay until the end because number 8, the Peace Lily, removed benzene, formaldehyde, trichloroethylene, xylene, and ammonia simultaneously in NASA's experiments. And number 14 is going to surprise you when you see how much oxygen it produces at night while you sleep. Subscribe to Ancient Harvest, because every week we document what the industry prefers you don't investigate. Here are the 15 plants that purify your air without expensive machines, from the most accessible to the absolutely extraordinary. Number 1. Pothos, or Epipremnum, the most resilient plant on the planet and the best to start with. Pothos, Epipremnum aureum, is the world's best-selling indoor plant for a reason that goes far beyond its appearance. It's virtually indestructible. It tolerates low light, irregular watering, temperature changes, and total neglect for weeks. The NASA Clean Air Study identified it as an effective absorber of formaldehyde, xylene, and benzene, the 3 most common contaminants in modern homes, from particle board furniture, paints, and cleaning products. The mechanism: the plant absorbs these compounds through its leaf stomata, and the bacteria in its rhizosphere metabolize them into nutrients. 1 plant per every 9 square meters of living space. The plant that doesn't die also cleans the air where you live. Number 2. Spider plant, the air spider that eliminates household toxins in days. The spider plant, Chlorophytum comosum, was one of the first plants evaluated in the NASA Clean Air Study and produced results that surprised researchers. In sealed chamber experiments, it eliminated 95% of carbon monoxide present in the environment within 24 hours. It also absorbs formaldehyde with high efficiency. Its additional advantage? It produces hanging baby plants that can be separated to multiply the plant indefinitely at no cost. 1 mother plant can give you 20 baby plants in a year. It also humidifies the air, reducing the dryness that favors transmission of respiratory viruses. The most generous plant on this list, the one that reproduces itself to protect every room in your home. Number 3. Snake plant, or Sansevieria, the plant that produces oxygen at night while you sleep. The Sansevieria trifasciata, has a unique characteristic among domestic indoor plants. It performs photosynthesis at night using the CAM mechanism, crassulacean acid metabolism, absorbing carbon dioxide and releasing oxygen during hours of darkness. Most plants do exactly the opposite. They consume oxygen at night. NASA included it in their study for its absorption of formaldehyde and benzene and identified it as especially effective in low-light environments. A University of Georgia study complemented these findings, confirming its ability to maintain purification efficiency even under minimal watering conditions. A Sansevieria in the bedroom improves air quality while you sleep. The nighttime guardian of your room that never rests. Number 4. Dracæna, the indoor tree that filters what furniture releases. The Dracæna marginata, and Dracæna fragrans, was identified in NASA's study as one of the most effective plants for removing trichloroethylene, an industrial solvent that enters homes through paints, varnishes, adhesives, and dry cleaning. It also absorbs benzene and formaldehyde. The Dracaena can grow up to 2 meters tall indoors with biweekly watering and indirect light, becoming a standing purifier that acts on the entire air column of the room from floor to ceiling. Important, it's toxic to dogs and cats. The indoor tree architect's place in luxury building lobbies isn't just decoration. It's botanical air filtration technology. Number 5. English ivy. The climber that removes airborne mold before it reaches your lungs. English ivy, Hedera helix, has a documented capability that no other plant on this list possesses, reducing airborne mold spores in the air. A University of Tennessee study demonstrated that English ivy reduces indoor airborne mold spores by up to 78% in 12 hours. Mold is one of the main triggering factors for asthma, allergic rhinitis, and recurrent respiratory infections. Ivy also absorbs formaldehyde and benzene from NASA's study. Hang it in a pot from high shelves so its leaves hang down and maximize surface contact with the air. It's also toxic if ingested. The most underestimated plant for the respiratory health of people with allergies and asthma. Number 6. Ficus benjamina, the living room tree that filters the air of an entire room. The Ficus benjamina, is one of the most effective indoor trees for air purification due to its leaf volume. An adult plant can have thousands of leaves, each with active stomata absorbing contaminants. The NASA Clean Air study identified it as effective for formaldehyde, xylene, and toluene. It's especially relevant for homes with synthetic carpets and pressed wood furniture, the main emitters of these compounds in residential environments. It needs good indirect light and regular watering. It drops leaves if you move it, so choose its permanent location from the start. The living room tree with the most leaves is also the one that cleans the most air per unit of time. Pause for a moment. 6 plants. 0 electricity. 0 filters. 0 monthly maintenance costs. The NASA Clean Air study exists. The EPA confirms that indoor air is more polluted than outdoor air, and these plants have been doing for decades what $300 electric purifiers attempt to replicate with technology requiring filter replacements every 3 months. Hit the like button now. Every like helps more people discover this information. Now comes the truly extraordinary part, the plants science studied with results the air purification industry would rather ignore. Number 7. Bamboo palm, the natural humidifier that improves dry building air. The bamboo palm, Chamaedorea seyfriedsi, was included in the NASA Clean Air study for its dual function. It removes formaldehyde and benzene from the air while actively humidifying the environment, releasing water vapor through its leaves in a process called transpiration. Modern buildings with central air conditioning have indoor relative humidity that frequently drops below 30%, well below the optimal range of 40–60% for respiratory health. The bamboo palm maintains active transpiration even under low indirect light and can reach up to 3 meters tall indoors. In rooms with dry winter heating, it's the most valuable complement that any electric purifier can't give you: real, natural, and free humidity. Number 8. Peace lily or spathiphyllum, the plant NASA identified as the most complete of all. And here we arrive at the one I promised in the hook. The peace lily, Spathiphyllum wallacei, was the plant with the broadest absorption spectrum in the entire NASA Clean Air study. Benzene, formaldehyde, trichloroethylene, xylene, and ammonia, the 5 main contaminants evaluated in the study. No other plant on the list achieved all 5 simultaneously with the same efficiency. Ammonia is especially relevant because it comes from household cleaning products, fertilizers, and construction materials, and is a respiratory irritant with immediate effect. The peace lily blooms in low-light conditions, doesn't need direct sun, and signals when it needs water by gently tilting its leaves before the substrate is completely dry. Never let it go without water. The most complete plant in the most important space study in the history of domestic botany. Number 9. Aloe vera, the biological filter that also serves as an emergency pharmacy. Aloe vera, Aloe barbadensis, was identified in NASA's study for its absorption of formaldehyde and benzene. But what makes aloe doubly valuable is that it combines air purification with an immediate medicinal arsenal. Its inner gel contains acamanin, a polysaccharide with documented anti-inflammatory, healing, and antibacterial properties. Burns, skin irritations, superficial wounds, all respond to fresh aloe gel applied directly. It needs lots of sunlight, ideally placed in a south or east window. Water it every 2 weeks, letting the substrate dry completely between waterings. The air purifier that's also your most accessible emergency first aid kit. Number 10. Kalanchoe, the succulent that purifies with minimal maintenance and blooms year-round. Kalanchoe, Kalanchoe blossfeldiana, is an African succulent that in well-lit interiors can bloom for uninterrupted months in a variety of intense colors. Its inclusion in indoor air biofiltration studies confirms its ability to reduce low-concentration VOCs, volatile organic compounds, in inhabited spaces. It needs minimal watering, once every 10 to 14 days, and tolerates periods of severe drought without permanent damage. It's especially suited for people who travel frequently or who consider themselves unable to keep plants alive. The plant that blooms even when poorly cared for is also the one that never stops working to filter the air in your home. Number 11. Boston fern or Nephrolepis, the most efficient humidity filter of all. The Boston fern, Nephrolepis exaltata, has the highest documented transpiration rate among common indoor plants, making it the most efficient natural humidifier on this list. It also absorbs formaldehyde with high efficiency according to NASA's study, being especially effective in kitchens and bathrooms where adhesives and cleaning products continuously release this compound. It needs constant humidity, bright indirect light, and frequent watering every 3 or 4 days. It doesn't tolerate the dry air of air conditioning. Place it away from direct ventilation outlets. It's the most demanding in maintenance on this list, but also the most efficient. The fern that tropical forests use to regulate their own humidity can also regulate that of your home. Number 12. Anthurium, the red heart that eliminates ammonia from cleaning products. The Anthurium, Anthurium andreanum, has persistent bright red or pink flowers lasting weeks. But what makes it a valuable air purifier is its documented absorption of ammonia and xylene, two compounds that household cleaning products constantly release in bathrooms and kitchens. Unlike many plants on this list, the Anthurium prefers high humidity and stable temperatures, making it the ideal candidate for bathrooms with good indirect lighting, precisely where cleaning compounds are most concentrated. It's toxic if ingested. Water it when the substrate is slightly moist, but not waterlogged. The most beautiful flower on this list is also the chemical guardian of your cleaning spaces. We're in the final stretch. 12 documented plants, with studies from NASA, the EPA, and reference universities behind their properties. And what's coming includes the most surprising ones. First, I need to tell you something. I spent over 200 hours researching each plant on this list, cross-referencing NASA's original study with complementary research, verifying maintenance data, temperature, humidity, and pet compatibility. If you want all of that compiled in a guide, you can consult from your phone. With tables of toxins each plant eliminates, recommended quantities per square meter, and more than 30 additional plants that didn't fit in this video, I put everything in a complete digital guide. The link is the first thing in the description. Subscribe to Ancient Harvest, because what's coming now includes plant number 14, which does something at night that no electric purifier can replicate. Number 13, Areca palm, the tropical humidifier that purifies and oxygenates simultaneously. The Areca palm, Dipsis lutescens, was evaluated by Dr. B.C. Wolverton, the same lead researcher of the NASA Clean Air Study, who ranked it among the 10 best indoor air purifying plants for its absorption of formaldehyde, xylene, and toluene combined with its extremely high transpiration rate. An Areca palm measuring 1 meter 80 tall can transpire up to 1 liter of water per day, making it the most powerful natural humidifier on this list. Wolverton explicitly recommended maintaining between 4 and 6 Areca palms per person in inhabited spaces for a real impact on air quality. On balconies with indirect light or well-lit living rooms, the Areca is the botanical investment with the highest air quality return per plant. Number 14, Christmas cactus or Schlumbergera, the plant that produces oxygen at night alongside the Sansevieria. The Christmas cactus, Schlumbergera bridgesii, like the Sansevieria, performs photosynthesis through the CAM mechanism, absorbing CO2 and releasing oxygen during the night. This makes it the perfect complement to daytime plants, which do the reverse process at night. It blooms spectacularly between November and January with tubular flowers of intense pink, red, or orange, and indoors it can live for decades with minimal watering and without direct sunlight. It's not the plant with the highest VOC absorption capacity on this list, but its role as a nighttime oxygenator in the bedroom, combined with the Sansevieria, creates an air purification ecosystem that operates 24 hours a day, the night shift of your bedroom's botanical purifier. Number 15. Lucky bamboo, or Dracaena sanderiana. The bamboo that isn't bamboo, but purifies like one. Dracaena sanderiana, universally marketed as lucky bamboo, is not bamboo at all. It's a thin-stemmed Dracaena that can be grown directly in water or in substrate, and shares with its Dracaena relatives the ability to absorb formaldehyde, benzene, and trichloroethylene documented in NASA's study. Its uniqueness? It can live indefinitely in a jar of water with a splash of monthly liquid fertilizer, without soil, without substrate, without complications. Place it in the darkest corner of any room, and it continues purifying the air with minimal maintenance. The plant the world knows for superstition also turns out to be, according to science, a real air purifier. The bamboo that isn't bamboo, but works like one. 15 plants. 15 air purifiers without electricity, without filters, without monthly costs, without technical instructions. The EPA documents that the air in your home is more toxic than the air on the street. NASA documented that these plants can improve it. The air purifier industry prefers that we don't connect these two facts. Now you have them. Start with the pothos, the spider plant, and the Sansevieria. They're the most resilient, the most accessible, and the ones any person with zero plant experience can keep alive. Add a new plant each week until you complete the list. In a month, you'll have a botanical ecosystem that improves the air in your home while you sleep, while you work, and while you live. Leave me a comment and tell me which of these plants you already have at home and which surprised you the most. And remember, the complete guide with all the plants, their specific toxins, the recommended quantities per square meter, and pet compatibility is available right now. First link in the description. Subscribe to Ancient Harvest. The smartest purifier in existence doesn't have a plug. It has roots.